I bet you guys weren't expecting the top 10 Bloodlines of Shindo Life. Well, here it is. Here is going to be the top 10 best overall Bloodlines of Shindo Life. Feel free to tell me your opinion in the comments. I will be actually checking them out because I actually want to get more of a consensus on what everyone thinks about the game. So if you guys enjoyed this video, hit the like sports go right to the video, guys. Coming in at number 10 is going to be Forged Ren Goku. So the reason why this is going to be coming at 10th is simply because of the mode. Forged Ren is pretty mode carried when it comes down to it, but actually didn't know this, but Forged Ren does a lot of damage. Just by doing the web spec and the Z spec, I just did 130,000. Not to mention that the actual first ability, you guys may not think that just stepping on someone would do so much damage. Like, you know, just like stepping on someone with your big giant feet, you know, Burger King foot lettuce type of stuff. But it actually does a lot of damage. Look, I've done, just by doing this, boom, another weapon spec, I've done 260,000 damage to him. That's a lot of damage for just a rotation of abilities. I didn't even use the other ones because the other ones are really not that great. When it comes to Forged Ren, it's going to be the mode, the weapon spec of the mode, and the first ability of Forged Ren. Those are kind of the only good abilities of Forged Ren in my opinion, and that's why it's going to be in 10th place. Coming in 9th place is going to be, surprising to everybody, Shindai Akuma. Now Shindai Akuma is going to be actually in 9th place because I do feel like Shindai Akuma, they finally made it better than it used to be. I mean, like, Shindai Akuma at one point was the most broken bloodline in the game. It's never going to reach that point again in my opinion, but when it actually comes to Shindai Akuma, they actually added a place lock stun to the third ability. They made the stun last longer. They made it actually better overall. They made the actual weapon spec better. This was actually an update before the most recent one, and mode drains, block breaks, it's really good. Not to mention the fact that the first ability, it's an insanely good counter. The clones do tons of damage to people. So I mean, like, when it comes to Shindai Akuma, in all seriousness, it is definitely very deserving of the 9th place spot. I feel like it is perfectly where it is. You know, it's not the best thing in the world, it's not the worst thing in the world. It is solid 9th place for being a, you know, broken character from Naruto and stuff like that. So it's at a really good place right now. I actually really like the bloodline itself. I think it's good, and yeah, 9th place for Shindai Akuma due to the clones being really good. Now coming in 8th place is actually going to be Bankai Akuma. Yes, Bankai Akuma is a lot lower than it normally is, but that's because so many broken bloodlines have actually released recently, and the fact that Bankai Akuma has fallen out of the meta. Auditors are really not that great anymore when it comes down to it, and I mean, the stun of Bankai is kind of the only thing keeping it afloat right now. I'm going to be dead honest with you. The actual stun of Bankai is pretty much the only thing that people use right now, but the stun is that good that actually is going to be in 8th place just because of that stun. Combined with the fact that the actual other abilities are also, you know, really useful, but Bankai Akuma in general, it's literally just the stun, man. Coming in 7th place is going to be the most mode carried bloodline in the game, Ryuji Kenichi. So even though the actual abilities of Ryuji Kenichi, I do think they're okay abilities overall, but when it comes to Ryuji, I do feel like it's just, there's a lot to be desired. Like, the first ability is insanely hard to hit in an actual fight. I mean, the second ability, it does tons of damage, but it requires, you have to set it up really well. But if you do, obviously it does a lot. But the mode is the part of the bloodline that it's just absolutely stunning in my opinion. I do feel like the mode, it's so good in so many different ways. Like, the Z spec, you could actually extend from it. I was actually reading that someone thought you couldn't. Yeah, you could extend from the Z spec, and only there's no end lag after the 5th beam, and the Q spec of the actual mode is really good for combo extending as well. Not to mention the fact that the actual counter of Ryuji Kenichi, which is basically just the Z spec with 0 end lag, it's a thing. And that's not even considering the fact that you actually have a low HP mode, where in the low HP mode you get a second life, insane stats, passive auto dodge, and all that stuff. The only thing I actually think is bad about Ryuji is, first of all, the Z spec, like the second life, has a 5-minute cooldown. That's number 1. Number 2 is that actually in competitive it is mode banned, so just keep that in mind, you know, when you're actually picking up Ryuji Kenichi. Hey you, yeah you, have you remembered to hit that like button on the video yet? If you haven't already, go ahead and do it. Now coming in 6th place is going to be Ryan Red Goku. I'm using the skin because #flex, but when it comes to Ryan Ren right here, Ryan Ren is one of my personal favorite bloodlines in the game. It always has been, always will be. I really like the visual effects of Ryan Ren. I think it's really cool. I think Ryan Ren has some of the most unique abilities in the entire game, even up until now. Like, the creativeness on this bloodline, it has been absolutely amazing. It has inspired a lot of the other bloodlines that has came to the game and stuff like that. And when it comes down to it, Ryan Ren is still insanely good at the game, hence why it's actually in, you know, 6th place. I mean, the first ability, iframe stun that pulls people in and allows you to combo, 0 end lag whatsoever. Second ability, a very long-lasting iframe where you can switch places with someone, deal damage, ragdoll stun them, and it actually does quite a bit of damage if you're super far away from them. The third ability is kind of garbage. I mean, let's be honest here, it's pretty garbage, but the M1s of Ryan Ren are insanely cool. They're actually really good as well because they barely knock someone back. So look, he's standing right there, boom, you can get almost like full M1 combo in before they get knocked back, and that may not seem like a big deal, but it's a pretty big deal when it comes to knockback M1s in this game. So yeah, Ryan Ren, solid 6th place in this list. The coming in 5th place, that should be Ryan Gaiden. Yes, you heard that correctly, Ryan Gaiden, which is also one of the coolest looking modes of the game. game, so I'm glad it's actually this good. 5th place, solid Ryan Gaiden. I mean, that of course the mode is really good itself. I mean, it does lots of damage. It has a counter attached to it. Literally just the first ability, but 0 end lag. I mean, the actual throwable spec also does tons of damage to people. I mean, like, the mode overall, it's a really good mode in my opinion. I mean, it could be a lot worse, you know, it doesn't really knock people back or anything like that, but the true gem of Ryan Gaiden is the 2nd and 3rd ability. 2nd ability, boom. One of the best combo extenders in the game due to the fact that you can actually extend after air combos and all the stuff like that, and it has no end lag, so you can combo extend even more off of it. And it's not on the stun attack. It's not on the stun global cooldown. The global cooldown it's actually on is the iframe attack, so that makes it even better overall. So I'll just go ahead and show you guys the first ability. I don't even want to show you guys this because the first ability it's pretty trash. I mean, it has so much end lag that it's almost impossible to use. But when it comes to Ryan Gaiden, the 2nd and 3rd ability, so this is the 3rd one here, boom. Basically, you hit someone, you gotta make sure you stay on top of them, and they actually remove the gap, so there's no gap, and then you could actually air combo after the 3rd ability. Overall, it's really good. The 3rd ability actually combos really well with the 2nd ability overall. Mode is pretty good, hence why it's actually winning 5th place on this list. Now, coming to 4th place is actually going to be Rengoku. Yes, you heard that correctly, Rengoku, with the big, giant, fatty pain booty over here, man. But when it comes to actually Rengoku, the actual good abilities are the 2nd, 1st, and mode. The 3rd ability, I'm gonna say it's trash. I'm sorry to the people that like using this ability. It's absolute garbage. The damage reduction makes it literally terrible. But if you don't include the damage reduction, the actual abilities of the actual abilities of Rengoku are amazing. Like, I mean, like the animal path is literally just passive damage combined with the fact that you actually get a free companion. By the way, so companions are actually banned in competitive, but when it comes to actually Rengoku, you get a companion. That's pretty OP. Not to mention the fact that you actually have so much versatility with actual bloodline abilities. You know, you have so many different stuns. So you have actually an iframe, Preta Spirit. Personally, one of my favorite iframes in the game because you can actually use abilities while the iframe is going on. So I do feel like Rengoku mode is one of the most versatile abilities in the game. Combined with the fact that the 1st and 2nd ability are actually pretty good, I think that it deserves 4th place on this list. Now, coming to 3rd place is going to be Vengeance. Yes, you heard that correctly, Vengeance. And this is actually the Sun Knight skin because hashtag flex number 2. But when it comes to Vengeance, I feel like, you know, certain someone, totally not the person I'm testing on, I feel like they don't really think Vengeance is that great. I mean, I could see why, but I think that literally just for the literally just the iframes, it has so many iframes that it has to be considered for being one of the best bloodlines of the game, especially considering that the actual iframes of the game are they're really good. I mean, iframes right now are insanely good. Iframe attacks are actually better than actual auto dodges right now, and every move of Vengeance is an iframe attack. It's actually one of the best bloodlines of the game right now for team fighting. May seem crazy considering it has almost no AoE, but it is one of the best in the game for team fighting because the iframes of the bloodline just last so long. And also, I think this is a really cool thing. There hasn't really been like anything like this in the game before. The car does a block break stun to people. Yes, a block break stun. No bloodline has ever done that before. It does a lot of damage overall. I do feel like Vengeance, it deserves the number 3 spot. It's actually borderline number 2 or 1, but I do feel like the bloodlines above it just kind of ink it out a little bit. But yeah, the iframes of Vengeance definitely hardcore carry the bloodline. Now, coming to 2nd place is actually gonna be one of my personal favorite bloodlines of the game, 6th Path Naramaki. And I'm gonna go into the 2nd mode here. He's probably gonna almost instantly die, so yeah, just keep that in mind. When it comes to 6th Path Naramaki, it does tons of damage. It has really big AoE sizes. It's really good for combos, and it's just like everything about I think 6th Path Naramaki was just made to be broken in general. I mean, like, the bloodline itself was designed to have massive AoE sizes, do massive amounts of damage, overall just be really, really good. Combined with the fact that the 3rd ability is one of the best iframe attacks in the game due to the fact that you can do so much damage. You can get your cooldowns back. That's also a really good plus. So like 6th Path Naramaki, it's just such a good bloodline. It does so much damage. It has really good abilities overall, and yeah, the actual web spec is also really, really good. It's a counter ability. It does like 150,000 damage, but obviously, guys, the best ability 6th Path is actually going to be the mode itself is really good, the 3rd ability and the 2nd ability. Now, honorable mention 1 is actually going to be Riser Akuma. Now, yes, this has kind of, you know, went very far down on the list compared to the tier list and stuff like that, but the reason why is because the meta has changed. You see that this ability teleports me to him. You do not want to do that in this meta. Close ranged abilities are the worst possible thing that you could do in this game. Now, the reason for that is because you can actually perfect block out at 150,000 damage, and it's really hard to perfect block abilities that are coming at you from far away, or burst combos. Riser Akuma is more of a monotonous, you know, sort of thing, where the whole point of Riser Akuma is just the like long extended fights, you know, getting combos in, getting away, and overall it's just Riser Akuma right now in this meta isn't as good as it used to be, but the iframe attack is still really, really good, hence why it's going to be honorable mention 1. Now, honorable mention 2 is actually going to be Eastwood Karashi. Yes, Mr. Gunman. land is going to be here. So you're going to basically be a big shooty boy right here. Boom, 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 boom. Big shooty boy. But when it comes to actually East with Karashi, the main aspect of it being good, first ability is an instantaneous combo extender, massive range. Third ability is also another instant ability, also really good for combo extending overall. But I mean, like, that's kind of where the good things end. The actual other abilities of East with Karashi are kind of trash. The C-Spec's a counter. The second ability is not very good. So yeah, first and third ability definitely do carry the Bloodline pretty hard. By the way, guys, what is your favorite Bloodline Shindo Life? Tell me in the comments below. We'll be checking them out. Now, coming in first place as a complete surprise to nobody whatsoever is going to be Shindai Ren Bang. Yes, Shindai Ren Bang. Because when you actually fly, this is the reason. When you fly, you actually get... For some reason, I don't know why, you take 0 stun and you're able to M1 and hit people that are below you, and they have 0 chance of hitting you. I mean, the only time they're ever gonna be able to hit you is with a massive AoE ability, and even then, if you fly high enough, they can't hit you. It's impossible. You can do so much damage just by flying. And that's not even considering the fact that the mode is amazing. I mean, you have this ball that chases them down and hits them with the giant ball, you know? You have a lot of damage potential. You have actually one of the best block breakers in the game, in my opinion. Combined with the fact that you actually have the highest damage counter in the entire game. So yeah, Shindai Red has a lot going for it right now. I do not, you know, Shindai Red actually hasn't been the target of any nerfs recently. I think the only nerf that it actually needs, the flight needs to take stamina. That's literally it. I think Shindai Red being as broken as it is actually fine for the game. But the infinite flight, it needs to go. I mean, like, let's be real here, guys. It's a really good Bloodline, man. That's really much all there is to say about it. And it's a boss drop, so you can just go farm the boss for it. Anyways, guys, if you guys actually enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe if you guys actually want to see another one. Also, if you guys haven't yet, feel free to go to my second channel and subscribe to it. I will be live streaming and uploading other games and stuff like that on that channel, so be sure to go and do that. Anyways, guys, hopefully see you in the next one. Bye-bye.